make sure you're being conscious of who you're surrounding yourself with. And this has been something in my life recently, but I think it's also definitely that I've been noticing that when I'm around certain people, not my core friends, of course, but when I'm around certain people, it's lowering my vibration, whether it be what we're talking about or the condition, the place that we're in, wherever it may be. So I think it's important to make sure you're being conscious of where you're at, who you're talking with, what you're talking about, and are the conversations that you're talking about, is it making you better as a person? Is it entertaining you? Is it making, like, it just has to be progressing you as something. And yes, what are your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, pretty much everything you just said, and then like emphasizing the fact that the people you are closest with, you can't sacrifice too much in terms of you have to really be picky of like the negative qualities. I love yourself more, bro. I love myself more.
That's what I'm saying. You don't respect yourself if you can't eject yourself from a location where you're at that's not helping you grow. You don't respect yourself if you can't do that. So
see me, I get higher than you. Hey, yeah, I get flyer than you. These niggas watching all my moves, and they do whatever I do, and they know I got the vibe too. Look at me, I get higher than you. Look at me, I get flyer than you. See me, I'm just higher and flyer. Hey.
What's good, everybody? It's the world's flyest streamer, flyest podcaster, most consistent streamer, most consistent podcast, and we are back here for another video. Today I am here with one of my good, amazing friends, Mr. Frado Williams III. Now, before he even say anything, one, he's been on this platform plenty of times. If you haven't already, go check those videos out with him. Every single one of them was a banger. But I do want to say the last time he was on here, bro, he had no music out. So I just want to say, if you're watching this and you support Jaden Hensley Talks, please go do my boy a favor and listen to Poison by Frado on Spotify. It's getting put on the screen. Y'all need to go tap in with that. Listen to 15 seconds. If you don't like it, click off, but I promise you're not going to click off. So before, I just want to say that before we get into you. But real quick, though, just give a shout out your Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And you don't got to go too deep about anything, but just, you know what I'm saying? Let's get to it, man.
Yeah, much love. On all streaming platforms, it's Frado with an F.
And hold on, my fault. You just told me that you're dropping this Sunday.
Oh yeah,
this is getting posted on Monday.
Yeah, so by the time this is out, it'll be another song called "Find a Way."
Okay,
that's gonna be out.
Okay.
Instagram FRAOLYAD.
Yes, sir.
That's all y'all get.
Okay, for sure. So I don't even want to talk y'all heads off too much. I kind of want to just get straight into what we're talking about. And today, we are talking about kind of more of a self-improvement spirituality topic. And I say this all the time when I do videos like this. I've noticed on my channel that, and this isn't an issue by any means, but I noticed that the people that watch me generally, they don't really click on these type of videos, which I think is a problem, because I feel like these are the most substantial videos of me that you can watch. This is stuff that can actually change your life and has changed my life in itself. I noticed that people like only want to watch stuff music related or like litness related, whatever it may be. So I just want to say, hopefully you watch this video. Hopefully you learn something. It won't be a long video at all, but we're just going to get some of our thoughts out on how to become the best version of yourself, how to improve, how to find yourself. So we both have 3 things that we're going to talk about collaboratively, and we just hope that this can help y'all get better. So I will start off. The first thing that I have that is going to help you self-improve and find yourself is spending time alone. And I'm a big advocate of this. Like I say all the time, I'm an extroverted person. Love being around people, love being around my friends. I'm with the people that's in this room. I'm with them all the time. But I find the importance of being alone, because I hear all the time, this is going to go into something that one of us says later. I find all the time, nah, but listen, I go out here looking at me, baby laugh. But listen, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I find all the time, and this is something I said prior on my podcast. You are who you hang with. But if you hang with yourself, majority of the time, you'll only be yourself. And you got to let that sink in. Of course, it's cool to be around your people, but you can't lose yourself in the process of being around other people. So that's why I think it's important to spend time alone. That's when you get to finally figure out who you are, figure out how you feel, pay attention to how you feel, whatever it may be. So what you think about spending time alone? I know we talked about this a lot. How you feel about that, bro?
Man, spending time alone is very important. I learned that, like, when it comes to me and myself, I would avoid spending time alone because I would avoid, like, the real problems going on in my head, or, like, everything that I was avoiding since a child, because I would spend a lot of time alone by force, like, when I was, you know what I'm saying, back at home. But now I have the freedom, so it's like I'm running away from that. But that's something I'm growing to run towards and be more alone that way. Like I heard a quote that was like, you can never be lonely if you love who you're alone with. And ever since
That's
then,
a good quote.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Ever since then, I'm like, damn, I gotta lock in. Like I just gotta be by myself, and now I'm really enjoying it. I do things alone now. Like they might not look the healthiest, like binging shows, but you know, I'm enjoying the time by myself.
Right.
Whether,
that's all
you
that
know
matters. That's all that matters.
Or like of course I do like good healthy things like meditate. A lot of time I'm at the house like cleaning or like doing work, writing music. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like really life changing. You start realizing like, damn, I really do mess with myself. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, that carries over to everything.
I definitely agree with what you said. Like a lot of people don't want to spend time alone because it's like they one of them don't want to are afraid of being bored. And that's a big problem. Like you can't just spend time alone and do nothing. You got to make sure that you're making the most of that time. But then a lot of people are running from the problem. So one thing I kind of find, some stuff that I kind of do in my alone time to make it not boring, I do stuff that I like to do generally, like go to the mall, I go look at clothes, go look at colognes, whatever it may be, or I'll go out to a nature spot, go out to the beach, go out to a hike. I'm actually going to do that soon. I need to get on that. But just do stuff like that, stuff to keep you up. But try doing stuff that you do with a friend group. Do it alone. Try just doing it alone. See how it makes you feel. Like go to a movie alone, play video games alone, go to a party. Even I don't want to promote go to a party, but go to a party alone. But be safe, of course. Be safe. But go to a party. Like just do stuff that you normally would do with a friend group. Do it alone and see how it makes you feel. See how far it takes you in life. So that's pretty much. Unless you got any more thoughts.
I like how you specified that because I didn't want it to seem like when I said be alone, just be at the crib. That's a good thing too. Like, well, I noticed that you shouldn't really be out too much, like just trying to avoid being home. You know what I'm saying? But you should do a lot alone, like out the house too. Like especially, like that's when you start to really build that connection with yourself and like enjoying the time being outside. So I definitely like that.
And that's not realistic. Just be in the crib all day doing nothing. You gonna anybody, whether you like being alone or not, you gonna get bored of being in the crib. I bet.
You're not only gonna be bored, bro. It's also unhealthy. Like you're gonna start sinking in like certain thoughts that you might not want to be sitting with, you know.
And one thing I noticed about when I'm at the crib for a long time, I start noticing myself being in a box, like literally and figuratively. I notice my mind is I can't think as creative as I normally would like to. So that's why I think spending time alone and going out and doing stuff is super important. Now I kind of want to get into your first topic, and then we'll do kind of a similar thing. You know what I'm saying?
So actually, I guess I'm going to go a little out of order because I have one of them that has to do with this pretty much. And it's talking to yourself. So it sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
But that could be through affirmations. You could sit in the mirror, talk to yourself. You could like, I don't know, the way I meditate, not only do I sit in silence and stuff, but after that, I'll pretend like I'm talking to someone else about me so I can really like connect with myself and tell myself how I really feel about myself, and that brings a lot of like.
I never heard of that. So then I give. So you're saying that, from your conscious level, you'll act like you're talking to a friend, like about explaining yourself to another person that's in your head. I get that. That's like shifting the personalities in your I get that.
Especially if I got some things going on where I feel a lot of pressure or whatnot, I'll be like, man, I'm so proud of Fro, this and that, XYZ.
Yeah.
And then subconsciously, you really like internalize that. No one else's opinion matters as much as your own.
Yeah, no facts.
So like you don't need external validation if your internal self is your external validation and your internal validation. So talking to yourself is crazy, bro. It's
facts. I actually, crazy you said that. I was doing that today. I think it's also big, like I said, about doing stuff like that you normally would do with your friends, do it alone. I think it's also important to like talk with yourselves in spaces where you normally wouldn't. Like the other day, my car got towed and I left my AirPods in the car. So the day after though, I had to work out. So of course everyone works out with headphones, but this go around, since I didn't have my headphones, I was just working out in silence. And it's like during that time, I was kind of just thinking about the workout, of course, and then also other stuff in my life, talking to myself, bigging myself up. So, and then even today I was showering, I was just telling myself, like you said, I was telling myself how proud I am of me. And I think that's also important, to kind of piggyback piggybacking off of that, I want to say, don't add too much pressure on yourself too. I know we're all, hopefully that a lot of people that's watching me are young, but even if you're not young in your eyes, don't put so much pressure on yourself. You have your whole life to become the best version of yourself, and it's an everyday struggle. It's not just something that's gonna happen next week or next month. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself is another thing. But I definitely think having those self-talks is super important in life, because like, you know what I'm saying, people talk to everyone else but never sit down and really see how they're feeling. So I think that's important, unless you had anything else you want to add.
Yeah, I mean, I just want like a quick little story. It's not even a story for real, but like, y'all know me. Not that I hate, but I do not really drop music.
Yes, that's true.
It's not really because I don't want to. It's really because like I'm limited to resources. I don't have an engineer. I don't have somebody to record for me, and there's limited studio time around here. So I'll do that all that off the muscle, and I'm learning as I'm going.
Right.
But at the same time, part of it is because since I am new, like there's a confidence problem with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it took for me to like sit with my own music, play it in the car, and be like, damn, it's hard. Friday, you really went crazy.
Right.
And then I'm like, I don't care what nobody says. If they like it, they don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to drop it, and I like it. And I know if I like it, somebody else is going to like it.
Right.
So it really just shows how important that self-talk really is.
So get into that level where you can be confident in the work that you put out, the stuff that you do. How do you think outside just self-talking to yourself, how do you think one that may not be feeling that could go about that?
Man. The more work you put in.
I was just going to say, you got to put the work in.
You really got to put work in. Like, you got to, once you put a certain amount of work in, that 10,000 hours, your craft will be undeniably good. Like, obviously some people have a head start with just natural talent, but it's going to get to a point where, like, if you love it enough and you put that with hard work, there's no way you're going to be bad. Mm-hmm. Like, you might not be the best, but you're not going to be bad. Yeah. And if you're good enough to where, like, if you want to do it, you're going to do it regardless. Whether they like it or not, if you love making music and you suck, make it. And if that makes you happy, release it. If that makes you happy, enjoy that. I'm not saying you're going to get $1 million off that, but just do it.
Yeah. And everything else will come after that, after that happens, for sure. So that's both of our first ones. My second one, kind of getting on a different page, I want to say another big thing that you cannot do if you're trying to improve yourself is you can't pour into other people before you pour into yourself. And what I mean by that is I talk about the importance of this all the time, especially when it comes to men and women relationships. I say all the time, it's super important to, I'm just on the type swag to where I'm not even I'm trying not to worry about women. How I look at it is I have my whole life. I'm only 19. I have my whole life to worry about getting a girlfriend, a wife, whatever it may be. I try and just spend my youthful years on me. So I say that to say, like, a lot of people all the time, they're chasing women. I know guys who they live for going to parties, talking to women, getting drunk, and whatever it may be. And it's like you're putting all that energy into chasing these women that may love you, they may not. But think about how you could do all that. Think about how the person you could be if you put all that energy you spent on those women into yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why you love it. Sound like some people we don't. Nah, I'm just playing. But nah, if you put all that energy into yourself, man, I feel like you could really be a superhuman on this earth, because if you really break down, get up, bro. Trust.
Man, I definitely agree with what you're saying, but I also want to give some credit to, like, doing things like that. Like me, especially my freshman year of college, man, I came in like, bro.
Came in wild. Wild child, man.
Wild. And that's obviously because, I couldn't really do that growing up. But I did that when I got here. And if it wasn't for me making that mistake, quote unquote, I wouldn't have learned as much as I just learned about myself. Or even getting into a relationship at this age, I wouldn't have learned as much as I did about myself. So, like, yeah, it's really bad to, like, do that. But you don't learn about life and how bad it actually is and why it actually is bad until you do it. So I would say, don't be afraid of just doing that. Like, just go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm. And definitely, I think I'm also a big believer that you can't love someone else until you love yourself. And that all ties back into what we've been talking about, spending that time self-talking with yourself, spending that time alone. You can't, like, how am I going to build with someone else if I haven't built enough with myself already? So that's why I think that's an important trait to keep in mind if you're trying to level yourself up and improve yourself. What's your second trait second thing for us for the day, Father?
Second one,
Mr. Williams.
Yeah, it's actually kind of based on like my last point is don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Right.
Don't be afraid to take risks and put yourself in uncomfortable situations, positions. Pause. Yeah, because that's really, again, like you're gonna learn so much. If anything makes you feel uncomfortable, that's how you know that's the direction you need to go in. Because if you're comfortable, you're gonna obviously stay stagnant.
Yeah.
Anything that brings you like personally, like anything that brings me a lot of anxiety, I'm like, bro, I do not want to do that, but I'm like, I need to go do that right now. You feel me? And I do that because I need to grow.
Like what? Give us an example.
Man, I hate performing, bro.
True.
So I remember Caleb, bro. Shout out C Hampton, man. There was this event on campus, and this is my first song that like I made by myself, Poison. This was before it came out, right? He was like, "Oh, you gotta perform." They asked me to perform. I was like, "Oh, nah, I don't like performing. I'm not singing live and shit. I sing with auto-tune. I'm not a real singer, bro. You know what I'm saying?" Mm-hmm. But he was like, "You know what? Just go do it." He even signed up to perform just to convince me to go do it. He was not gonna do that. Feel me?
Right.
But that's a situation that brings me a lot of anxiety. I have stage fright. I can't sing, nigga. It's like LL situation.
Right.
But I did it anyway just to like kind of thicken my skin in that realm. If I want to be an artist, I might have to perform one day. You feel me? So it made me uncomfortable. I did it. I learned what I learned from it, and now I have that experience to where if I have to perform again, I'm not as nervous. You feel me?
Right. Nah.
So you gotta
exactly.
get in those uncomfortable positions.
Exactly. Yeah. Put yourself in uncomfortable positions. Pause. Got to say pause on that because
I got a question for you. Do you have any situations, kind of like, you know, with me performing, like, do you have any situations where like you're uncomfortable or like make you anxious that you like, damn, I don't want to do this?
Yes, actually, in regards to like this social media aspect, I guess it's so with the field I'm going down, it leaves so much room. Like I say all the time, success is kind of defined on views. So like I'll put my all into a video about thinking about it, recording it, editing, whatever it may be, and then it doesn't do the numbers that I wanted to do. And then I wouldn't say it leaves me anxious, but it leaves me kind of like feeling empty. I'm like, dang, I put all that work in for nothing. And then, or it may be also on this type platform, it leaves space for people to give their own commentary, and it may be negative commentary. It may be people like, oh, I don't like what you're saying or stuff like that. But I still just have to believe in myself, what I have going on. I have to go, like you said, like I can't just be thinking about, oh, this person doesn't like my music or, oh, this person doesn't like my podcast. I just have to, I know if I like it, I'm comfortable with the work I put into it, it's good, and that's all that matters, you know what I mean? So that's how I feel, man.
So kind of like digging deeper into what you're saying, like, so are you saying, because this is kind of how I feel with music, like you don't want to be putting so much work into content and people can see that you're putting that much work and it's like there's no views to show for it. Mm-hmm. And that like kind of feels like, damn, what am I doing?
Right.
So how do you like stay consistent with that?
I tell myself that this has actually been big for me recently because I've been posting videos like every day for the past 2 weeks. I thought the lights kind of turned off, so it got a little messed up, but I'm going to keep on saying what I was saying. What was I talking
about the consistency thing. So
So I've been trying to post videos every day, and like I spend a lot of time on those videos, and a lot of the videos don't really do as well as I wanted to. But what I tell myself is like, one, to enjoy the times right now, because how I picture myself, how I envision my life is going to be one day where I'm going to post a video, it's going to get 100,000 views, 200,000 views, however many views instantly. So I just want to fall in love with the process, fall in love with making the content, have fun. And know that eventually it's going to be one day that the universe, God is going to bless me for the work that I've been putting in. Not everything happens at once. Like you have to keep growing, and there's stuff that I could be doing better, whether it be promoting it, making the content, whatever it may be that can make someone want to view it. So I kind of I have that self-reflection that, of course, like your time's going to come. Not everyone's time is right now, but also have that self-reflection, like what can I be doing better to make this person want to watch me or whatever it may be. So that's something that just keeps me. And it's also like sometimes you just got to tell yourself, even if you be like, bro, no one's viewing this, you still got to put it out, bro. It's like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Nobody viewing it isn't like you're going to die after that. It's just nobody viewed it, you know what I'm saying? But it gets tough, but you just got to sometimes nothing to it but to do it for real. But, man. You know what I'm saying?
That shit is crazy. Imagine you put hella work. Nobody.
I have, bro. I have. Only if y'all knew. I have. Dang, y'all seen it on the screen, bro. I'm so distracted. But listen though, like it's sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you are gonna put in the work, but that's a part of the journey, and that's one thing you got to fall in love with the journey. You got to fall in love with the days when 10 people was listening to your songs or 10 people was watching your video, because it's going to be one day where it's going to be millions of people that really are impacted. If you keep going, there's going to be millions of people who are impacted by what you do. So that's why I think it's an important. Excuse me. And then that was your second one?
That was
I
my
think.
second
Okay,
one.
so our last one, I don't want to make this video too long. It's closing on like 20 minutes, but the last one, what was my last one? Let me see. Oh, yeah. I said this a little bit earlier, but make sure you're being conscious of who you're surrounding yourself with. And this has been something in my life recently. Of course, I think my core friends, it's different levels of friendships with people. My core friends, people who I consider close enough as friends to call them a brother or a sister, whatever it may be. I feel like that core group of people is can pour into me just like how I can pour into them. But I think it's also definitely that I've been noticing that when I'm around certain people, not my core friends, of course, but when I'm around certain people, it's lowering my vibration, whether it be what we're talking about or the condition, the place that we're in, wherever it may be. So I think it's important to make sure you're being conscious of where you're at, who you're talking with, what you're talking about, and are the conversations that you're talking about, is it making you better as a person? Is it entertaining you? Is it making, it just has to be progressing you as something. It can't just be talking about same three-dimensional stuff like, oh, let's smoke on 420 or well, let's go party, let's go drink, whatever it may be. And all that's fine. Like, I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm just saying if you're having these conversations every day, it's going to be hard to improve as a person. So I think it's important to improve your surroundings, improve who you're surrounded by. And yes, what are your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And for me, it's more so like I just think about that saying that like you're just like the 5 closest people you're surrounded with. Mm-hmm. And I kind of use that to my advantage because I realize how true it is. I really just try to sculpt the people that I'm with the most to like what I want to be in the future. So like the good qualities I can get without sacrificing too much. Like I don't want to have a friend that has a really good like I need someone with balance. Like, I don't want someone who's like really good at something but then like their bad qualities kind of overshadow that, and like it's just not worth that. So it might sound kind of superficial on the outside, but it's like, damn, what are we friends for, bro? Like, you friends with someone because they kind of provide something for your life.
Value
you
to
know
your
what I'm saying?
life.
They add value to your life.
Right. This is important though, when especially with your friends, because I think it's also different. You have to have friends for certain qualities in your life. Like you may have a friend for a friend who you just turned up with, and then you may have a friend that you work out with, and then you may have a friend that you have conversations like this with. So having that balance, like Chike back there said, and like that's kind of what you were getting at, having balance when it comes to friends is super important. But let me let you speak again.
Yeah, pretty much everything you just said, and then like emphasizing the fact that the people you are closest with, you can't sacrifice too much in terms of you have to really be picky of like the negative qualities. If the people you're closest with have negative qualities that outweigh how much they're giving to you in terms of value, they gotta go, bro.
Yeah, they gotta go.
You
can't be afraid. Can't be afraid to distance yourself too, man.
Real,
that's another
bro.
thing.
People think like life is not sweet as it seems, bro. Like we could be friends for 10 years, bro. I'm not finna just switch up, but I'm finna distance myself if I'm going down the path you going, and that's not a path I want to go down. You feel me? And I'll be heartless about that shit. I don't even care, bro. Mm-hmm. I really,
right, you can't.
You love yourself more, bro. I love myself.
That's
more,
what I'm saying. You don't respect yourself if you can't eject yourself from a location where you're at that's not helping you grow. You don't respect yourself if you can't do that. So, that was my last one. What's your last one, Friday? We don't want to keep these people here for too long, but
last one. Go to therapy, man.
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy. You might think you don't need therapy, bro. There's every single way you move, way you talk, the way you make decisions, all based on things that happened to you as a child that you probably don't understand, that you're not even honest with yourself to be able to be aware of. And there's just so much improvement that comes from healing your past traumas. People think trauma is just like that, like it's a word with such a heavy connotation, but trauma can really be a lot of different things that we need to address, that we invalidate within ourselves, and that kind of hinders our growth because we're not able to fix the holes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, I get what you're saying. I also, to piggyback off that, I also think that therapy doesn't just mean sitting down on a couch and having a person with a doctorate degree talk to you. I think therapy can also be in, whether if you vent on your social media. I don't believe you should share your feelings on social media, but if that's how you vent on social media, vent to your friends, vent to this friend, vent to your parents, whatever it may be. I think all of that is forms of therapy. Just getting how you feel, paying attention to truly how you feel, speaking that, and then talking with people about it. But I also don't want you to get lost in that too, because I also believe this is something I've just been thinking about recently. Majority of the time, we all know the answers to our problems. A lot of people just want to tell people their problems just to hear what they should be doing when they internally already know what they should be doing. But I still do think it's important to understand that you most likely do know the answer to your problem, but also there's still stuff that I can learn from Raul, or I can learn from my mom, or I can learn from this person. Even though I don't know everything, you still know a good amount. Don't short yourself in that regard. So back to what you were saying though.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot, actually. And people can help guide you to the answer that you've been looking for on the inside that maybe you're not able to see.
Right.
But at the end of the day, no one knows you better than you. Like, people can tell you what to do, but they're not you. They don't know what's really
You got to
going
go through your
on.
own journey.
Yeah, don't lie to yourself.
Don't at all.
Because you're just going to waste your time.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time, and it wasn't really something I consciously did. It's like I didn't know any better. We're not taught as young black men how to express our feelings.
Yeah, be honest, express yourself.
Yeah, like there's so many things, man, I lied to myself about without knowing I was lying to myself, you feel me? And going back to actually like different forms of therapy, bro, music for me is my therapy, bro. You hear my music, bro, you about to hear a lot about my life that you probably shouldn't even hear if you haven't even met me. You know what I'm saying? And it's everything I say in my music is real. Like, it's real. I don't lie about nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm putting my real, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Nah, I get you.
Man, you could do it with anything, bro. For real.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a high note to end off of. Make sure that you're finding stuff to where you can vent. I would just want to second everything that we've said. I don't want to go back and dig deep into each of them, but look, I hope that the stuff that we said in this video can help you learn more about yourself. And none of this matters if you just watch this video and don't actually put the work in. Take these, of course, we don't know everything about life, but take what we're saying, apply it to your life, analyze it, see if this will work for you. It may work for you, it may not. So I just think it's important to follow what we said. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say though, before this is the end of Jaden Hezzy Talks, this video, I'm the most consistent YouTuber ever. You're going to see 5 more videos after this because like I said, we just locked in. But I do want to say again, I can't implore this enough. I'm stuttering. Feel free to subscribe to me. But more importantly, in this video, if you're watching this video, please go check out my man's song. It's a great song. I love the song. I'm super proud of him too because I remember we started becoming friends when he first started his music journey, and I know it's been a lot of ups and downs for him, and I'm proud of him that he finally got his stuff out there and is being comfortable within his own work to where he's not worrying about being judged by anyone else. And I think that's important to live your life like that as well. So I think just go shout out to his music, go listen to it. I'm putting pictures of the screen again so you know where to find it. And yes, that's all I have to say for Jaden Hezzy Talks. Hopefully y'all can apply these things to your life. What you got to say to outro, Father? We're going to end with you, man.
Man, much love, man. Just don't take life too serious.
Man.
That's it.
All right, though, y'all. I love y'all. Shout out to y'all. See y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Keep working. Keep growing. World's flyest streamer, no cap. We out here.